We are live right now. Carl Coulange for the Sports Hit List by the fans and for the fans. Thank you for those who are joining us late night as we review Game 3 of the Western Conference Finals between the Los Angeles Clippers and the Phoenix Suns. I am going to bring in my other admin, Mr. Ziggy Zig. He's going to join me. He's been joining me on these live post games. Zig, how you doing, sir?
What's going on, man? Chilling.
Good, good. My special guest is running a little bit late. He's leaving the bar and he's heading home to. He's going to dial in a little bit shortly, but I'm going to do what I normally do and share. Quick comments while I do that. Overall for Game 3, is it what you expected?
I know I said that I've seen these guys to sweep, but the energy back home in the crowd definitely got the Clippers going. They're stifling defense. They did a good job keeping Chris Paul and Devin Booker contained. I'm looking at the highlights right now. Trying to peep in on some of these press conferences that they have coming up. But overall, just a hard fought game. Nobody can say anything about these Clippers, regardless if they end up getting eliminated from these playoffs or not. This team has heart. This team has grit. They've been showing it. They've been fighting. Paul George didn't have the most spectacular game, but double double 26 points, 27 points, 15 rebounds, something like that.
27, 27, yeah, 27, 15, and 8 for Paul
And eight,
George.
right. So I mean, he again, once again, doing an all around job. Clearly forgot about them free throws. And shout out to Patrick Beverly. Lockdown defense. A lot of people. Russell Westbrook said that way. He was fooling the people, right? But he hasn't fooled us. He's been doing a good job containing Devin Booker. Great all around team defense. Looking forward to seeing the next game, man. This has been a really, really good series.
But overall, I mean, the last time we were on when we were discussing the Clippers, it seems like again Paul George does get a lot of flack. You know, he seems to be a conversation starter. As I see it in the hit list streets and other groups that I'm in. But people don't tend to give him his due diligence when he does do well. I mean, yes, he missed the free throws last time, but now he made up for it. 27, 15, and 8, and they got the W. Uh, I always and people will say, well, you know, he hasn't done anything, but we're so quick to judge him and come down on him when he messes up. Why can't we have that same energy when he does something well?
I think that's just the culture all around in this generation, in this world that we live in. You know, you kick a man while he's down, you know what I'm saying, and you don't really build him back up. I don't know what it is about Paul George. For some reason, people might not seem to like him. I don't know if he's still going back to this whole playoff B thing. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe people just don't like the fact that people are bigging themselves up, and then when the minute they do not hold themselves up to that standard and they fall short of it, it gives them that go ahead to kick them while they're down. But you definitely got to give Paul George's respect. He came out, like I said before, totally forgot about those free throws and gave it his all tonight. My man was diving on the floor for loose balls. He was doing everything. Great job all around, like I said.
So Chris Paul returns in this game. You know, some might have speculated he might not play well coming off that COVID protocol. What did you see from Chris Paul? Did he kind of disrupt the Suns' offense? They won 2 games without him. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say they don't need him, but did he kind of mess up their flow a little bit, or is he just
I'm not
adding to
I'm
what
not
they
gonna
have?
say I'm not gonna say he messed up the flow, but it seemed like they did have to readjust because even Mark Jackson alluded to it in the telecast. He said that not Mark Jackson, Van Gundy. Van Gundy said that it seems like the team is playing slower. And it was looking like for a minute that the team was doing more so getting into their sets, getting into their plays. When Cameron Payne was running the show, it was more like pick and roll, pick and pop, pick and roll, floater, pick and roll, find the open man on the wing, and run and gun almost in some kind of sense. You know what I'm saying? So I think we got to give Chris Paul a little bit of time just to get back into the swing of things because he has been out for a minute. And who knows what's to deal with his shoulder, right? Because nobody's been talking about that shoulder. Everything's been about the COVID protocols. Um, he's gonna. I don't expect him to do that again in game 4.
Mm. Moving along to game 4, quick preview while we wait for our special guest to come in. Jay Crowder with the text. He's got to be careful. I think if he picks up 2 more, he could get suspended for an extra game. We know he plays with his emotion on his sleeve, and he's a glue person. You also have Cam Payton is out with an ankle injury, so some dominoes seem to be falling, and some things falling in the favor of the Clippers. You also have the big question mark that no one seems to answer. The guy sitting in the box in the press box with his kids, like chilling, and nobody knows what's going on. It's just that. So going into game 4, there are a lot of narratives and scenarios. How do you even predict that at this point?
Man, I have no idea. I'm sitting there watching Kawhi in the stands, like, yo, my man, you're supposed to be on the bench with your team and cheering them on and talking to them, but it always been saying that he keeps in contact with the team on a ongoing basis. We talked about it before. Yo, it's looking like whoever is injury free is gonna come out of this. And if Cameron Payne can't get back, I feel that's gonna be an issue because now you're looking to your third lead guard, which would be Etwan Moore. And I don't know if that's going to be enough to hold up. Who knows when it's gonna happen with Cameron Payne? I don't think it's that serious of an ankle injury. Maybe he'll come back. But if you lose Jay Crowder now you're losing that defensive presence on the wing, right? Because Cameron Johnson, he's most certainly going to fill in for that spot, but he's more of an offensive producer, right? He's not going to give you that defensive intensity. He's not a 3-and-D guy like Jay Crowder is, and you're going to need Jay Crowder to defend the Paul George, to go up one-on-one with Marcus Morris and those guys, to take chances on Reggie Jackson. I don't think Cameron Johnson is going to be able to slide into that. So you're right. He has to fall back a little bit and just take it easy.
So people in the comments, Andres is in the comments. This is what happens when you come to class late. I already discussed Paul George, and I gave him his flowers and his due diligence. So the fact that you're sitting here in the comments right now and saying, "Oh, why are we not talking about Paul George?" We talked about Paul George 5 minutes ago, but you wouldn't know that because you weren't in the comments. So therefore, next time, come to class on time. Anyway, so some adjustments were made. I think a series definitely looks much better 2-1 than 3-0, especially from the fan perspective, giving the Clippers some life. Reggie Jackson, let's talk about him. He definitely played well, hitting the 3-pointer, and being a spark plug too for the team.
Hey man, he's got a lot of money coming his way. Some team is going to foolishly throw a lot of money at Reggie Jackson. I say foolishly, not in the sense that he doesn't deserve it, but they're going to pay very, very handsomely for him because he's been really, really, really performing. This is a guy that just barely got on this team and now happened to, come back after the collapse last year. And he has been absolutely balling. The 3-point has been on fire for him. He's taking it up people's chests. We saw him doing it in the last round against Gobert. He's doing it again in this round. And he's just been a spark plug, as you mentioned before. The others have been really stepping up. Patrick Beverly, Reggie Jackson, Nicholas Batum with his defensive versatility.
Zubac too, yeah.
Zubac had a big, huge night, and he was a defensive presence in the post. At times when he left, the game, and they had Marcus Morrison, you had more attempts going into the paint. So he had a really, really awesome night. And we talked about Patrick Beverly before. So all in all, Bobby Shmurda has been really killing, man.
You had to go with the Bobby Shmurda, right?
With Bobby Shmurda, man. But also at the same time, man, if you got Book and CP3 going 10 for 32, that's not going to get it done. I mean, DeAndre Ayton had a pretty solid game, but you need Devin Booker and you need Chris Paul to do a lot better than that.
Well, going into game 4, Devin Booker, I guess coming off the now he's the masked Devin Booker, so I know the media, I know the narratives they're going to paint. They
look at that was a problem.
No, not just that, but they look at players who've had the mask on before. They look at LeBron, they look at Kobe, they look at Kyrie Irving, they look at Rip. So they're looking for that masked game from Devin Booker. Can we get that in this series, or is it just, a fallacy or just a nice narrative for people to look at a masked player and say that they play well with the mask?
That's the dumbest media shit I've ever heard. Like, who the hell is
But they did, but in pregame, if you watched it, they kind of hyped it up a little bit because they showed you the players who wore the mask. And keep in mind, Rip Hamilton wore his mask and he did so well in it. He didn't even need it and he wore it and he just kept it on, So,
true.
Again, moving ahead, the media kind of hinted at it. Could we see that breakout game from Devin Booker? I mean, he struggled the last couple games. Could we see that breakout game from him going into game 4?
Of course. Devin Booker is a budding superstar in this game. I mean, we talked about it yesterday. He's not a superstar yet. He's a budding superstar. But I believe he has all the offensive tools and offensive production to bounce back in a mighty way. You know what I'm saying? He's not going to do this again, as I alluded to earlier in the broadcast. He's going to find his spots. That mid-range is going to fall for him. But, you just got to give credit to where credit is due, right? Patrick Beverly has been doing his job. They've been doing an all-around great team defensive job in trying to keep Devin Booker in check. I don't think it's going to last for too long because that man's a killer. You know what I mean? He's a killer. So I'm looking forward to him bouncing back. hopefully he can bounce back and the Clippers still get a W because I really want the Clippers to get to the NBA Finals, bro.
So you want the Clippers to get over
Absolutely,
the Suns?
absolutely. I mean, I you know me, man. My thing is Kawhi, but at the end of the day, if the Clippers do lose, I'm not going to be mad at that because now I get an opportunity to see Chris Paul finally compete in the NBA Finals, and if he happens to win, all these haters that have been talking a lot of crap about Chris Paul in these streets, these hitless streets, they're gonna have to come to the forefront. And
yeah, I'll be
you.
listen.
You, Paul. You gotta come.
Listen, I'm preparing my notes as we speak for that moment in that day because I know I will have to have a long soliloquy and a long speech giving Chris Paul his flowers. It's a long time coming. It dates back to him being part of Banana Boat. This has been years and years and years and years. So I'm preparing myself for it. We're going to bring in my very special guest. I know Ziggy's going to like this guy. He's a very special friend of mine, and I had to have him come in and come talk a little sports with us. This is the brother, Mr. Marv Zoe, is in the building. Marv, how you doing, sir?
I am doing all right.
We are live, right?
Ziggy.
We are live. We are live.
Hold on. Shout out to my guy, Ziggy. Catching up, my guy.
I see you, bro. It's getting longer, bro.
It's a family reunion, ladies and gentlemen.
Up, baby.
It's a family reunion.
I'm past the shoulders.
For those of you who don't know, this is my very good-looking younger brother, Marv Zoe.
Oh, thank you. That's the first time.
You know, he likes to say there are three Coulange brothers. I'm the smart one, my other brother's the strong one, and he's the sexy one. So for those who don't know, my brother's in the building. But today I want to pick his brain. He's another great sports fan. Marv, talk about game 3 here. The Clippers go 2-1. What were your thoughts after watching that game today?
What happened? Exactly what I expected to happen happened. I expected the Clippers to come in and defend home court for this game. It was a really defensive game. I feel like the first 3 quarters, and then I don't know what happened to the Suns in the fourth. They just looked gassed. I mean, I don't know. 10-2 to start the playoffs. I guess it was too much.
Listen, brother. I'm gonna tell you this. After game 2, someone used that excuse for the Clippers, talking about that they were fatigued, and now you're talking about that the Suns are gassed. This is what they do. This is their job.
No. I'm just talking about for the fourth quarter.
Like for the fourth quarter,
up to the third. Like I feel like when I was watching the game up to halftime, I was like, this game might not even go to 100 points for either team. The Clippers, like at the end, I feel like in the fourth quarter, the Suns just gave up. Like I don't know. I feel like the home court really helped the Clippers, and they were able to break 100, like late in the game. But it was just a real high defense game, and I just felt like the Suns defense just lacked in the fourth quarter.
Let me ask you this. I asked Ziggy this question earlier before you got on. We give Paul George a lot of flack. We call him Pandemic P when he doesn't show up. He missed 2 free throws in the previous game, but now he shows up tonight, 27, 15, and 8. Can we give him his respect when he actually plays, or are we still going to hold
27 points? He had 27 points, 15. What was his shooting?
27, 15, and 8. He had 15 rebounds and 8 assists. So are we going to give him the
but
respect?
what was his shooting?
Okay, so let me go look at the shooting. Hold on one second. Let me grab the stat.
He didn't have a great shooting night.
9 for 26.
34% from the field, right?
34% from the field. It wasn't a great shooting night. He missed the open layup. I mean, come on.
Like he also hit a buzzer beater though. Come on, let's be real. He hit the buzzer beater to end the quarter.
Buzzer beater. Yeah. Okay, so listen. Thank you, Reggie Jackson tonight. He could thank Reggie Jackson for adding to his 27. You said 26, 27?
27,
adding to his points tonight, because without Reggie Jackson's efficiency tonight, it would have been a tough night for PG, because it would have looked different. It would have been 27 points, and like I said, 34% shooting. PG missed a lot of important shots he should have made. I mean, they still got the W no matter what. But if the Suns were on tonight, that it wouldn't have looked good.
Well, you know what I say about that word that you just used. We don't use that. Right. We don't use that here.
Right. It was tough. It was tough to watch PG. Like when I see them miss that layup, I'm like, I just feel like he's forcing a lot. I'm not gonna sit here and call him Pandemic. I never call him Pandemic P. That's just messed up. But I feel like he does underperform at times. But again, if Reggie Jackson didn't have the game he had tonight, it would be a different story right now. It
right.
would. You know,
listen. Having a man down and being that focal point, we know maybe.
Absolutely. I mean, shit. Listen, you don't like the word "if," but if Kawhi's here, this whole series.
Well, and talking about Kawhi, we saw him sit. Well, listen, talking about Kawhi, I told Ziggy this. We saw him sitting in the box, and there are big question marks going into Game 4. Will Kawhi play? Cam Payne may be out. Campaign may be out for the Suns.
And also being out for the Suns is big because he low key he could give you 20 out of nowhere just shooting the floor. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So Kawhi could definitely be a difference maker. Yeah. Do you have any sources that could possibly tell you that he's playing in Game 4? Could you give us an exclusive from Marv Zoe Studios at all?
Listen, it's one of those things. I don't know why. I mean, every other team or every other player, if they're injured, you'll hear expected to play or something. The Clippers are just keeping this one quiet. And I don't know if it's because they know he's not coming back, so they're just not trying to say that so the Suns are ready. Like, okay, if he's not coming back, then we know what to expect. Or maybe they're just trying to keep them on their toes. But it's just really weird that we don't know anything about his injury.
And
but listen, this is familiar territory for Kawhi. We went through the same thing in San Antonio for a period of time where we didn't know what the hell was going on. So this is just. I guess Ziggy, would you say this is Kawhi's MO in terms of getting a status update? He doesn't allow people to know what's going on, or.
I mean, I don't know if it's so much Kawhi or if it's the organization, but
the org. Thank you. Yeah,
it could be the organization, just making it so. I like I said, I don't be behind the scenes. I'm not sure as to what it is, but like I said before, and Marv said it right here as well. They're being very secretive, and I'm sticking to what I've said before. I don't think he's coming back.
Me neither.
Because if he was coming back, you give us some kind of information that
that'd be hope. That'd give him some hope.
So wait a minute. So time out. So wait a minute. I'm gonna pull a WWE crowd. We don't see him pulling the Willis Reed moment coming out the tunnel. Surprise! Here comes Kawhi Leonard. Game 4 to be the hero of the game.
A Paul Pierce moment. When
Let's not talk about that. I don't want to talk about that. But again, but seriously, could you not see Kawhi Leonard coming out the tunnel for Game 4 at home at Staples Center, being the hero of the game?
That would be great. But I just also feel like if that's something that they're doing, I mean, it's one of those. It's a sneaky tactic because it's like it looks like the Suns are preparing to fight a battle without Kawhi Leonard there, and then out of nowhere, you don't tell the media, you don't tell nobody what the injury update is, and then out of nowhere he's playing.
Listen, the best way to play it is again. Normally we see this game time decision, right? Tomorrow, Saturday night. No, it can happen.
I'm all for that, but they haven't even said that. They're not even calling his injury a day by day. They just haven't given us any information about his injury. You know what I mean? We don't know.
My fault. Carl, real quick.
Go ahead.
So Eddie, shut up, bro. Like nobody's even talking to you right
now. Where are we live? Where are they?
We are live right now on Facebook. We got people in the comments talking, so people are chatting it up. But Marv, going into Game 4 right now, we know Kawhi is not playing as of right now. Will this be 3-1 or 2-2? Can Paul George and the Clippers tie this series up and push a Game 6?
He ain't been there in a couple of years, bro.
Could he tie it up or no?
Paul George. Paul George and I thought you said Chris Paul. My fault.
No, Paul George. Paul George. Yeah.
And the Clippers tie this up.
We had to look at 3-1.
I think they can tie this up. However, I feel like the Suns needed to lose a game so that they can wake up and realize like it's not going to be a coast to the finals. Because think about this: the last time the Suns lost was when the Lakers were playing.
Right. Okay, fair.
You know what I'm saying? Like they've been coasting on a nice high for a while. They needed this as much as the
6-game winning streak.
As much as the Clippers needed this win to save this series. Because if they had let the Suns win this one, it was over. I'm not gonna hold you. Even if it wasn't a sweep, it was gonna be a gentleman's sweep no matter what. But I think the Clippers can win another one at home as long as, like PG, Reggie Jackson could give you another game like that. Zubac's played great tonight. One thing I've been saying a lot about this series, and this is about the Suns' victory, as much as people want to credit Devin Booker, DeAndre Ayton has been playing the best basketball of his life.
You ain't lying, brother. Talk about it. Preach that.
And tonight, him not playing as well as he's played in the other games has shown me that if DeAndre also doesn't have a good game, the Suns are in trouble.
All right, so you going Clippers in 4 in Game 4?
Nah, I still got the Suns. I got the Suns going to the finals.
No, I'm saying for Game 4 though.
I said I had the Suns.
Right, but you can have the Suns in 6 and 7. So you're saying the Suns are winning Game 4?
The Suns in 5.
Okay, you have the Suns in 5. All right. Zig. Okay, Zig, who you got here in Game 4 on Saturday night?
Son Anthony, Suns in 6. Nah, I'm joking.
We petty in the streets, Marv. Go ahead, be petty, bro. Be petty.
No. That's not to be petty. Listen, I never thought the Suns were gonna beat the Lakers until AD went down, and then I even told Anthony like, "Yo, it's not even fun anymore because this is a no contest anymore. But it's just funny. It's fun to see because, like I said, Deontay Ayton's been having the time of his life. And it was something we've seen since game one with the Lakers. Like Deontay, they said, oh, Deontay Ayton's making AD look small. And he had a great game against him in game one versus the Lakers. So in game two as well, he had such a great game. I've been asking why they're not playing Boogie more because I feel like Boogie's stronger than him and could just dominate him. But Zubac had a great game against him tonight. So I feel like, maybe they figured it out. But personally, I think Boogie should be getting more minutes and they should just stop Deontay Ayton altogether because they clearly figured out something from Devin Booker. They stopped him. They've not stopped him, but they've tightened up on Devin Booker 2 games. They're not letting that triple double shit happen again. Excuse my friend. They're not letting that happen again.
Okay, so Marvin,
they threw Patrick Beverly at him and say, listen, this is your job. All right, this is what you do tonight. So if they can slow down Deontay Ayton, I think the Clippers could turn this series around. But if Deontay has a regular game like he's been having, and Devin Booker just shows up for 20 points, that's all they need from him. Because I don't think you're gonna get like Chris Paul and Devin Booker shot terrible tonight, but I don't think that's gonna happen twice.
So Marvin's going Phoenix in game 4. Zig, you got Phoenix or the Clippers?
Unless Kawhi comes back. If Kawhi comes back, then we might go.
It's a whole bit different ball.
Well, let me say really quickly, what Marv was talking about Boogie, I think the reason why they're not playing Boogie as much is he's just horrible defensively. He's very slow. He doesn't have that lateral movement, and he gets cooked in the pick and rolls all the time. So maybe that's why we're not really seeing DeMarcus Cousins. Now, to this prediction here, I think I'm going to go with Phoenix, Carl, just for the simple fact that although Chris Paul and Devin Booker had a horrible night, at halftime, they shot 4 for 20, and they was up by 2. So that's kind of scary.
That's a big.
That's why I said it was really defensive because I think right before the half there was only like 40 on both teams, 40 to 40 type. You know what I mean? So that's why I thought it was going to be a low scoring game. They wasn't going to break 100 until the fourth quarter where the Clippers just couldn't get a stop and Reggie Jackson was lighting the floor up. You know what I mean?
And that's basically what happened, right? So you shoot 4 for 20 up and you're still up at halftime, but then the third quarter comes. Now you turn over the ball over and over, and then the Clippers start shooting threes. Now you're in this hole. You're down by 13, 16 points, and now you're spending the rest of the game trying to fight and climb out of it. Yeah. But now you still have Reggie Jackson nailing threes, and now you got Pat Bev hitting threes.
Once I saw that, I knew the game was over.
Yeah, right. Pat Beverly's not one to hit 3-pointers. Absolutely.
Yeah. And then he hit the Rondo with the fake. Rondo one time,
So Zig, I spoke to you about the Hawks game already. We know what's going on with that. Marv, listen, bro. We see. I've been high on this all day. Trey shimmying on the court and just disrespecting the Bucks. One up. Is it just one game, or can the Bucks bounce back?
I'm tired of people saying it's one game because when the series is over, it's not one game. Right? They give us a game repeated. Okay,
that's fair. That's absolutely fair. Yeah, for sure. So, what are your thoughts with this series here? Can the Bucks tie it up? Do the Hawks have the advantage? Bucks were clearly the favorites. Do you still have them winning the series or not? What's going on?
I never had the Bucks winning the series. I think the series is a toss-up. I'm not gonna hold you. Listen, it's one of those things. It's like I didn't have any of these teams, both of these teams making it here. You know what I mean? So I can't pick which one I have to favor. The Bucks still, they need work. Like they can't close games. They're like people like to say, oh, Giannis, it's Giannis's team. But then if you ask, if you watch like the media shows and if you ask anybody who's the closer on that team, they'll say Chris Middleton. But he don't show up every night. So how can Giannis be your best guy and Middleton be your closer, but you can't rely on him every night?
Yeah, listen, I know I'm going to mess this up because I don't have it in front of me, and that's my fault. But I believe the Hawks are 15-2, if I'm not mistaken, when the lead is like 3, when the game is between 3 points or less, or 5 points or less, or something like that. So when the game gets close, the Hawks end up winning.
Trae Young can finish the game. Trae Young and people like to just think, he could. Nah, he can finish a game. If he's not the one scoring, he will create for his team to score. Trae Young is doing a great job. I think the Hawks could win this series. On paper, when you look at the teams, you're like, the Bucks should win this. But the Bucks are known to not show up every night. And it will cost them against Trae Young. Trae Young's proving it every night. Like, don't sleep on him.
No,
you know what I mean?
You're not sleep on him.
You not
So
sleep on him, son.
game 2, again, we always say 2-0 is better than a 1-1 split. Zig, you going with the split or 2-0?
I'm going with the 1-1 split. I
Yeah.
think the Bucks are gonna get it back. I still can't believe they lost game 1 like that. But I think they're gonna get it back, man. Like I said, I don't think Chris Middleton's gonna have a shitty game like that. And I don't see Trae Young going off, what was it, 48-10 or something, like 48-11, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening again as well. So these are similar points that Jordan was making yesterday, and we was in agreement on that series. So I'm sticking to that point.
Marvin, 2-0 or 1-1?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the same. I think it's gonna go 1-1. I think Giannis is gonna have a great game. Oh, this is Bucks home court, right?
Yes. Bucks have home court. Correct.
I think again, it's one of those things that let's not, forget Giannis is still Giannis. He's gonna have to have a blow up game in one of these games. And I feel like
we know how to slow down Giannis. Just slow him down in the half court. He can't score in there. So that's basically how to stop him. Like again, you have Trae Young guarding him.
Listen, this was game 1, and this is where I do understand it was one game. This is because remember, playoffs is all about matchups and adjustments. This is where you send Giannis to the 5 and you play small because Atlanta's not a big team like that. And I think Giannis could match up well against Capella. You force Capella, if Giannis could get his jump shot back, he could force Capella out of the paint and
jump shot.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, if he could hit a 3, just hit a 3 and force Capella out the paint, I feel like Giannis could help, guys like Middleton in a small ball situation flourish. So that's why I feel like with some adjustments, I mean, Budenholzer is still getting fired, but with some minor adjustments, they might be able to go to the finals this year.
It's so crazy. I saw Rick Carlisle just got the job in Indiana again, right? So he went back to Indiana. But I was reading
that could have been Budenholzer's job if he'd lost the series before. But hey,
you're right. And you know what? I was reading the article. That's exactly what the article said. Is that Rick Carlisle was up for that Milwaukee job, but because the Bucks are still in the series, he kept his job because they made it to the Eastern Conference. He kept his job, but legit. Like I literally read that's what it said in the article.
You called me and told me, they already signed his release papers. Like they're just
that was after Game 5 when Kevin Durant had 49.
I can't believe they lost that game, but that goes to bad coaching, bro.
For sure.
At the same time, you got to blame your closers not closing, but. Adjust, coach.
Put your players in a position to
win. Yeah,
for sure. Guys, thank you so much for joining me here on the post game. Tomorrow night we will not have a post game. I will be in Boston for a family event, but I'll be back on Saturday night for game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. No, Jasmine.
Going back.
I didn't tell him about the event. But you guys make sure you share, comment, subscribe.
He's going to consult with the Celtics. You heard he's going to Boston. Yeah, I heard what he said.
Marv, you want to give a shout out?
Cancun trip ready. That's all.
Marv, you want to give a shout out to all where people can find you and all your socials.
I see the name, man. Marv Zoe on all my socials. Just no space. Marv
Prize Films in the house.
Prize Films. But just go to Marv Zoe.
Please make sure you share, comment, subscribe to Marv Zoe, to All Sports Hitless content. Tomorrow we will have Smoke and Mirrors at 1:00 with Greg Polius, Steph Polius, and Declan Krogman. And I'll be back Saturday night to basically discuss what's going on with Game 4 of the Western Conference Finals. We'll have a review for that game, and we'll see who tunes in. I know Zig will be here. We'll see who comes into the. Say again.
You do both games since you're not doing tomorrow's game?
No, I'm not going to do both games. I'm just going to do that.
You might as well bring it up.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, clearly I'll bring it up. But, we'll see how it goes.
You got 2 games of basketball left.
And then we got the Olympics. Right? The Olympic team just got named too. So we got the Olympics to talk about. We want to talk about that.
That did get announced, right?
That's a fact.
Yeah. So we got the Olympics coming up. Listen. I'm all about breaking down synchronized swimming. All right? I'm all into the synchronized swimming when it comes to the Olympics. I don't know about you guys.
Where you guys go? What did y'all think of the draft lottery? How do y'all think this is gonna fare out for these new guys coming in?
I'm not too sure.
Ziggy wasn't in it
for Blake Griffin's disrespect to the Pistons. Do you think that was them blessing them with number 1?
Hey, listen, man. To be honest, like Carl was just saying, I wasn't really paying too much attention to it because my team wasn't there. You know what I mean? So with that being said, I wasn't really paying attention to it. But I did say to myself that I think no matter what, Cade Cunningham was going number one.
Number one.
After that, I don't know what's gonna
Yeah,
happen.
it's a
I
toss
have
up.
no idea what's gonna happen after that.
Do you
but
think he's
that's
going to
about
Detroit?
it.
Oh, we got somebody who. Hold on, wait. Someone just said the Olympics team is low key trash. I mean,
The Olympics
the
team is
roster? Who's
not
on the
trash.
roster?
They're just
You don't know who's on the
they lack a
roster?
little
I'm gonna
bit
tell
of
you. Hold on.
rebounding. They lack rebounding, but they're not trash.
I mean, who they playing against? Like, come on.
Well, listen. Hold on.
What
Let me
does
see if
it
I can pull it
matter?
up.
Team USA all the way. Like, come on.
Do I have the roster here? I literally
Oh,
just
man.
saw it too,
That
man. I'm
Spain
sorry.
team is always ready.
Nah, I'm not gonna front. Yeah, you can't sleep on them.
Spain is always ready for us, man. Spain.
And then
Who knows what
whoever
France might look
out of
like.
Spain beats USA, they can come to the Spurs too. You
Yeah,
know?
I can't find it, but I know as far as I think Jason Tatum is on there, Kevin
Yeah,
Durant, Draymond Green,
Mm-hmm.
Bradley
Bang.
Beal,
What
Kevin
they
Love,
everybody who's eliminated.
Kevin Love, Bam Adebayo. Who else?
Brooke
Those
Lopez,
are just Brooke Lopez.
Jeremy
Yeah,
Grant.
I think Drew Holiday's on there as well. So there are a few
LeBron
names.
give it up?
Say that again.
LeBron give it up.
Yeah, no, there's no LeBron. I thought James Harden might have made it, but I think
He was there, but
Nah,
he
well, with the
he pulled
injury, I
out.
think he would
Yeah, he
want to
pulled
sit
out.
that out.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
I
pulled out probably
want
last
to
night.
sit that out. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yep.
If I'm Durant, I'd sit out too.
He wants to keep playing, man. Hasn't played
Durant
basketball in
wants
2
to play
years.
ball.
Yeah, he hasn't played ball in 2 years, so he's gonna keep playing.
Look at me.
What?
If I'm Durant, I sit out too.
We know how you feel about Kevin Durant. We already know that.
Listen, I need him
Let's
to
not get you started on that.
everything he's got left. All right.
Let's not get you started on that Kevin Durant nonsense because you be
Hey, did you
feeling
watch
like,
that
yeah, wait till
season?
No, not yet. I haven't watched it yet.
Listen, they had a good conversation about how Kevin Durant. The statement was Kevin Durant is more gifted than Michael Jordan.
Michael
Because of his
Jordan.
height, yeah, just because of the height, wingspan, ability to shoot. You know what I mean? But it was like what I've been telling y'all. You know, if you had to pick the greatest of all time, of course you're gonna pick Mike. But if you're gonna talk about scoring and just the talent of scoring the ball, Durant is the best, bro.
Yeah, for sure. Guys, have a good night. I'll talk to you guys soon. Continue to enjoy the games. Make sure you like, share, comment, subscribe. Marv, thanks you for coming on. Ziggy Zig. I'll see you soon. And you guys have a good night. Take care.